Hey guys, this is one of my best videos I've ever made. Please follow through and listen from the beginning all the way to at least 16 minutes and 30 seconds. I promise you it will change your life. Okay, so today's video is going to be about meaning, the meaning and intention that you give to words and communication. I'm an NLP trainer, Ericksonian hypnotherapist, and also a master practitioner of timeline therapy. And I specialize in emotional healing and breakup coaching. Okay, so one of the things about relationships is, even dating is, it applies to actually every area in life where you are interacting with another human being. It could be business, could be social, friends, family, intimate, close relationships, could be anything. So one of the things we learned in NLP is, and it's one of our presuppositions, is communication is not the words that you say. Communication is what the person receives from you. So in other words, what they feed back to you is what was communicated. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what you were trying to say or what your intention was or is. So okay, here it is. Communication is the response that you get. Now write that down, that's really important. So communication is the response that you get. So let's say you're trying to say A, like your intention and the meaning that you're trying to get across to the person is A. So you talk, they listen, and then they feed back to you L. And you're like, no, not quite. That's not what I'm saying. So here's really the key to this. Okay, I'm not going to go into a big, long, like 30-hour NLP training. But the key to this is this. You have to keep communicating in different ways until they get A and repeat A back to you. Now, this can help avoid a lot of heartbreak and a lot of emotional trauma. A lot of times people get hurt emotionally when you didn't say what they thought you said. So now one of the keys to communication is flexibility of behavior. Flexibility of behavior is the key to success in any area of life, from therapy to professional sports to business to science to making computers to sales to anything. Are you flexible? One thing about me is I can be extremely flexible, extremely sarcastic. I can be extremely quiet. I can say things in the most reverse, odd way that makes you go, wait, what? And then you go, oh, I get what you're saying. So I will go to the ends of the earth to express something in a way that your brain finally gets it and understands it and sees it. And here's what I'm saying. So here's the deal. It is a commitment to communicate until they respond with, oh, you're saying A. And you're like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're like, oh, okay. Now, here's one of the, I don't know if I want to call this one of the challenges, but I guess technically it is the biggest challenge is the other person has to be willing to listen and understand. They have to be, let's go beyond that. Let's make it easier than that. They have to be willing to communicate. What did they hear? Why are they hurt? What did they misunderstand? Or what do they, at the very least, what do they think that you said? So here's the deal. A lot of times when somebody breaks up with you or stops talking to you is because they misunderstood something you did or didn't do or something you meant, but they didn't understand what you meant. They assumed you meant something else. Now again, the biggest challenge is they have to be willing to communicate. Now, if you've dealt with an avoidant, what do? They just shut down. They assume the worst and they're out. They'll never talk to you again. Now, it's not just avoidants that do this. People who have been hurt emotionally, and sometimes it's not even that. We just misunderstood. So this is something that humans do. And this is, I remember when I learned what I'm teaching you now, and the next piece is a real important key. When I learned this stuff, I realized why people say communication and communicating is so important. By the time I was in my mid-20s, I started realizing a lot of the upsets and hurts and emotional wounds were not caused because someone did it. It's because They weren't willing to talk to you and say, hey, when you said this, this hurt, and this is why. They don't do that. They just get hurt. Oh, you're a bastard. You're a son of a. And a lot of times you're sitting there, no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. But some people are so locked on, well, this word A means this. And that's it. There's no other options or possibilities. No, that's absolutely not true. And we're going to get to that in a minute. The definitions, the meanings, the intentions. So, quick caveat, if someone is purposely trying to misunderstand you on purpose to play a game, if they purposely are trying not to understand your meaning, don't talk to them. Those people don't count. They're narcissists. Because their intention is to purposely frustrate you, upset you, and misunderstand you, to anger you. Walk away. Don't ever talk to them again. They don't change. I just think it's so sad when two people who are madly in love get hurt, and I mean emotionally wounded, and maybe even, I don't like to use this word because I think it's overused, but emotionally traumatized, to where they don't date for 6 years or 2 years, and they're so hurt, and they broke up with the love of their life. They broke up with their soulmate. And it was all just a misunderstanding in communication. That's what I think is so sad. It's like something horrible happened because nothing happened. Nothing went wrong. It was just a misunderstanding. Now here's the deal. This used to be a real big deal when you traveled to other countries, because other countries, it was really obvious, whoa, this is a different world, this is a different lifestyle, this is a different social set of rules and values and beliefs, and they have different meanings for same and or similar words. So people would be very open when they go to other cultures, and people with other language are more patient, they're more understanding, like, okay, so when you say this, this means that, or when I say this, this is what I mean. So they're more willing to listen to understand that person's intention, because it's the person that is communicating. It's their intentions and meanings that they give to the words that they're speaking. If you intermix your definitions, your meanings, your intentions, well, when I say that, that's what I intend, that's what I mean, that's my definition, that's where you screw shit up. So here's one of the presuppositions that we learn in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, is it's not the words that are communicated, it's the intention of the speaker. What are they intending? So now I go on the other side and go, okay, they're the ones speaking. What is their intention? What is the message that they're trying to get across to me? That's what I'm looking for when someone talks to me. Words themselves can have a multitude of different definitions and meanings and intentions. Let's take one sentence. Let's say you've got a sentence with, 9 or 12 words or something. And in there are 3 words that are of importance that literally build up that sentence versus little words like is, the, to, and at. So those words I don't count. But we're talking about the definitions of the actual meaningful words. So let's say there's 3 important words in there, and they're saying this word means A, and this word means this over here A, and this word over here means this A, and you're like, but they don't say that, and you don't ask them, hey, when you say this word, what does that word mean to you? But you assume, oh, well, he said that word, and that means C, and he said this word in the sentence, and that means D, and he said this word in the sentence, and that means L. You're going to completely, utterly, totally misunderstand what they're saying. So when you first get to know someone, and I don't mean for the first 10 minutes, I mean for the first probably 10 months. When you are first getting to know someone, your number one job is to look for their intention and ask, what is the meaning that they're trying to get across to me? Because it's all about their intention. You could completely make someone look like a monster if your intention with those words are totally different than their intention. It has nothing to do with your intention. So now I'm like, oh, so when you say that to me, you mean this monstrous shit over here? Wow, that's fucked up, dude. So when you say that, now I know what you mean. But when they're saying it, they're actually trying to make you laugh. They're trying to make you feel loved. They're trying to make you feel cared for. Now here's how you do it. It's actually really easy. It's insanely easy. And if you're not doing something this easy when you're getting to know someone that you care about and like about, or you have a working relationship with, well, that's your fault, not theirs. Ask them with an open mind. When you say this, in this context, what does that mean to you? That's what you need to ask. You need to ask them, okay, so what does this word mean to you? What is your intention? Or here's another one. What is your intention for sharing this thought with me? They can be like, oh, well, my intention is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Then you're like, oh, thank God, I thought you meant this horrible thing over here. And they're like, why would you think something like that? So number one, when you're listening to someone, look for the intention behind the words. They're trying to paint a picture. This alone will help you increase and improve your listening understanding, your listening skills. This is communication skills, listening to understand them. This is why one of the tools I teach is I teach you how to empty your mind, be formless, be shapeless, my friend, Bruce Lee. In other words, silence your mind. Don't think when someone else is talking, because when you think, you are adding your words and more importantly, your definitions and meanings and intentions to their words. That's where you're muddling everything up. You're screwing it up. I'm gonna say the F word, guys. Here's my number one technique that I teach my clients. I'm not joking. I call it this technique. Shut the F up. In other words, silence your mind. Silence your heart and listen to understand with an open, spacious mind of nothingness to receive fully and completely of what they're saying first. And then after that, if you have questions, well, go ahead and ask. Okay, so now let's talk about filters. Filters change the meaning of what someone else said. Again, it's like you're wearing a pair of green sunglasses. I hold an apple up in front of you and you say, yeah, that's a green apple. I'm like, no, it's red. You're like, no, it's green. No, it's red. No, it's green. This is what filters do. And I say, hey, take your sunglasses off. Oh shit, that's a red apple. It looked green through these sunglasses, this green filter, because the filter changes the meaning to everything you listen to. So one of the filters is your definitions, your meanings, and your intentions when you use the same words they use. If you apply those meanings, intentions, and definitions to their communication, you're going to change what they said, and they're like, that's not what I said. That's not what I meant. But a lot of people are like, well, this is what, like, it's an unconscious thing. Well, that's what it means to me. Well, I can't believe they would say something like that. It's so horrible. And instead of listening to their meaning, you just get mad at them and scream at them, and you don't even hear them saying, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Have you ever had a conversation that went like that? Now, here's another filter. Trauma, emotional abuse, emotional trauma from childhood, or maybe it's from the last 3 relationships they were in, or maybe they have this pattern where they meet these mean, horrible people, or or whatever. Maybe they've had narcissist abuse trauma. I'm going to give you a personal example. I was abused by the women in my life when I was a little kid, my mother and my sisters, etc. so severely that by the time I was in high school, I was at a mall with my best friend and his mother and his older sister. They loved me to death, and their older sister loved me. They were so kind and so beautiful to me. To this day, they're the most beautiful people in the world. And here's what happened. I'm at the mall, and I think I was in 9th grade. I think we're in 9th grade. It was summer after or before 9th grade. We're at the mall all together, all 4 or 5 of us. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 of us. And we're up on the upper deck. It was Solana Mall in Fairfield, California. And this really cute girl smiled at me. She was with her friend, and they were about our age. Okay, so I think they were, I don't know, 14, 15 years old, whatever that is. And she smiled at me, and she looked at me, and she smiled again. And this went on for a couple minutes, actually. And my best friend's mom, she goes, Michael, go talk to her. And I looked at her, I'm like, why? And she's like, because she likes you. She's flirting with you. She wants to talk to you. Now, in my eyes, I thought she was looking at me. Yeah, she was smiling, and she was very cute. She was a really pretty girl. But my thought was, hell no, she's going to hurt me. And I remember looking at Marlon's mom, and I said, hell no. She goes, why? I go, look at her. She's going to hurt me. And Mrs. Pilling goes, "What are you talking about, Michael? She's a cute young girl. She's not going to hurt you." And then Marta's older sister, who was very beautiful, said, "Michael, she likes you. She's not going to hurt you." And they tried to encourage me, and I was like, "No, I'm not going to talk to her." Because in my mind, when a woman or female smiled at you, that's when they're going to hurt you. I'm going to be really blunt, because that's what happened to me when I was a kid when they beat me. They would smile before and during the interaction. So I connected in my head, oh, when someone pretty or someone that you love or like smiles at you, they're going to hurt you. That's the meaning that I got in my head for that interaction. That's the definition and intention that was created. That was now was it real? No, it was a filter. Now here's the worst part of it. I only dated women who looked at me like they were mad, because that was not the filter of you're about to get hurt. Do you get it? So I ended up dating mean women and got hurt. Are you starting to understand why it is so unbelievably important to heal your emotions and issues, because they become filters? Somebody might do the most loving, kind thing to you, and it goes through your filter as, "Oh, I can't believe they said that to me." And you end up leaving them because you misunderstood their intention. You don't have to suffer like this uselessly for a complete misunderstanding. You can learn these communication skills. It will change your life. Listening skills are communication skills. You're suffering for no reason. It was just a misunderstanding. So the next part of this is it worth it? Now here's what I mean. You may have met someone who's really damaged, like an avoidant, let's say. If they're a narcissist, no, run. That's not worth it. But let's say you meet someone who's either an avoidant or just someone who is hurt and emotionally damaged, or maybe not even emotionally damaged, but has some issues, and one of them could just be the communication skills. See, a lot of times people get hurt emotionally. It has nothing to do with childhood trauma. It has to do with communication skills. I'm going to tell you something about therapy. I would say 60 to maybe, I want to say 90% of all emotional healing comes from communication skills and understanding what someone meant when they said or did something. So here's how you answer that question. Are they willing to learn? Are they willing to learn communication skills? Are they willing to look at themselves and go, wait a minute, when you said this, I thought you meant that. Or, here's another part of it. Are they willing to communicate the way they received it? If not, there's nothing you can do. You can make attempts to getting the message across from letters or maybe messages or phone calls. But I think if they're not willing to communicate, I think there really comes a time when it's like, you know what? I've done my part. They're not willing to do their part. That's completely on them. So my overall answer is this first. Yes. If they're willing to learn this stuff, if they're willing to apply it in communication with you and get better and better at it, absolutely. If they're willing to get therapy. And a lot of times therapy is communication. A lot of people don't know that about therapy. A lot of it is just understanding oh, I thought they did not. No, that's not what they meant. So if they're willing to learn, develop, get some form of therapy and grow from it, absolutely. That's what love is all about. Moving together forward hand in hand. Together supporting each other and loving each other and being patient and being understanding. The key factor is, are they willing to take the steps? Now, sometimes these people are just scared, and they're essentially they want to know, am I in a safe environment to where I can open up to you? Now, obviously with me, yeah, that's very much true. And for some people, that are very sensitive, they need to know. So you're going to have to get the message across like, hey, I want to create an environment or a space here where we are completely safe and we're listening to understand, not judging, not blaming, not hurting, none of that. But wanting to get to the bottom of like, well, what's going on here? Is there anything we can do to support each other? So bottom line is communicating, having conversations, being, creating a space where you can be calm and relaxed, where you can both can open and share with each other. Maybe make some notes like, hey, here's what I'm here, want to talk about. You said this, and to me it means that. Is that what you meant? And do it in a non-judgmental or aggressive way. Like leave open space so you can actually have a real conversation. If you need help, if you need a coach, someone who specializes in this, which is me, get a hold of me, okay? I specialize in emotional healing, communication, especially communication between men and women. That is my number one specialty and my core series and set of discoveries that no one else is teaching. Get a hold of me at mikekollin.com, MikeKollin.com. Alright, that's it, guys. Go ahead and click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment. And if you want, you can go ahead and make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. Alright, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.